Practice is the hardest part of learning, and training is the essence of transformation. Thank you, ISTD, Indian Society for Training and Development, for training us with theories and with situations through this internship project. Hi, I am Ritu Malik with registration number 26341 Delhi chapter. For 10 minutes from now, I would like to share the story of my training program, Fortified with Real Learnings. This training program was not just running a group of students for training, but it was an example of proactively, strategically, and logically identifying and serving the needs of the learner. Proud to say that it can be considered as a set of integrated processes in which the institute even felt value. The association with Jamia was very nascent, so it was a bit challenging to drive this complex stages of my training program, but Eddie worked well for me. I thank everyone who helped me in the execution of every phase of my training program. The plot of the story focuses on the design and the delivery of the training program, on corporate readiness and resume making, branding them for dream job, done on 20th October 2022. It was ably guided by my mentor Dr. Shikha Gera, who from Jamia Hamdard helped me in every stage of my training program. The internship story began with an triggering event, and that triggering event was a brief conversation with the faculties where an insight was uncovered that something impactful or value-driven done for student would be really appreciated. With this fact in mind, and Jamia being an academic institute with various fields like journal management and pharmaceutical management, legal studies, a tentative need emerged to bridge this gap of learning through training program. A concept of corporate readiness emerged. Realizing this fact, we stepped further to shape the idea of corporate readiness. The journal objective of choosing this program was to make students ready for corporate world. Who would not agree? To be a brand of value and excellence in training for future, a training program should be effective and efficient. Thus, in the setting of Jamia Hamdard, I proposed to take this forward in a structured manner as per learnings and ISTD. Under the scope of my project was DNA, design and delivery, and thus collaborated and co-created and executed the tools to understand the current needs of my diverse pharmaceutical management students. Chose the topic and also the contents delivered to them in an effective manner, and also helped them providing impactful training hours for making them corporate ready. The methodology used were the tools, 2 questionnaires with 5-point Likert scale for training need analysis of students of pharmaceutical management were designed and executed to select the topic of top priority amongst 3 topics: communication, growth mindset and resume making. The conclusion reached was resume making, branding them for dream job as a top topic to be catered. How did we reach this conclusion? 91 samples were participated and this graphical analysis was done. With great number of learners were unaware on resume making was identified, and good enough knowledge of percentage of students was even lesser than growth mindset and communication. The ranking of priority as per the learners was almost similar for communication and resume making. Analyzing the histograms and the percentages and sharing the outcome with the faculty, statistical operations helped us to quantify and summarize for the collection of the information. An informed decision with stakeholder was taken that resume making would be an ideal choice and enticing tool for them as it has never happened before. TNA also helped me to have visualization of my learners, their educational qualifications. The real climax of the story was the design 2 TNA step with questionnaire of 31 questions, which was filled by 42 samples. The TNA system looked at the each side of operational area of the learner so that the concept and the attitude of human elements can be effectively identified and appropriate training can be specified. It guided me to design a best fit and a clear objective on the topic of resume making, and the content, the method, the evaluation to be effectively designed within the allotted 2.5 hours. The Robert Meagher theory of training objectives shaped the training objective in terms of performance, condition and criteria. By attending my training program on 20th October 2022, the learners would be able to list 5 important tips of powerful resume writing in 2.5 hours to help them customize in creative way later in their basic resume. With this objective in mind, the session was designed in lecture method as large content was intended to be covered and equip the learner with many ideas that might fit in their creativity in their basic resume that they had already made. The unique creativity of the tool was that it had 6 bucketed questions and to reveal the effective domain, the awareness of resources for resume making, the creative ability, the impressive content and customization, key optimization and ATS awareness. The analysis led to key findings that more than 70% of learners already had made their basic resume. Major criticalities and knowledge of impactful resume were missing with them. Majority of individuals need a basic resume, but the expertise for impactful creative beat ATS resume, enabling them to go ahead in their dream job was the need of the time. Though 70% had already made, but 33.3% clearly felt it was too hard. Along with this, 40.5% believed that templates takes off their creativity. So what to do? 21.5% just knew which skill to be used in my resume. Rest all they were confused. 11.9% were aware of the industry screening methods. 62% faced challenge in filling the white space of their resume. Key optimization and ATS was unexplored. 35.7% only understood the dream job, what it means. Looking into all these key findings, the interpretation was that we have to make a smart objective which should cater and has to be a learner-centric session. The content complexity, the relativity in terms of the design and the order were aligned with the expectation of my learners. Each session, the title of the session, the objective of the session, the content of the session, the subtopics, the right sequence, the methodology, the equipment and resources, all were looked in deeply. It also helped us to identify the real purpose of resume, the dream job to them. Not only this, nothing more, nothing less has to be taught to them because that needs a lot of competencies which were delivered in the session. Relative competencies in relevant competencies in terms of powerful accomplishments, the resume format, type, tailoring to ATS and job description, aligning to hiring organization, enabling them to go ahead further, connecting the dots in each individual and enabling them to go ahead in their power pack resume writing. For designing, development and implementation, Gagne's 9-step theory was kept in mind. Formative verbal quizzes in between to check their attentiveness and understanding, attention-grabbing icebreakers were the key of my session. Preparation of a detailed session plan was great learning for me. The climax of the story was when the session actually began. All eyes were focused on my slides and me. A lot of interaction and gestures of understanding could be noticed. Various attempts of learner were visible for enhancing their constructive learning. Enthusiasm was spreading slowly by the relevant queries to have more in that 2.5 hours. The design was unique and motivating as a major concept of dream job was introduced. It helps bring life in this inanimate resume making. To sustain and transfer learning, a 2-page ready reckoner was designed with tips of Power Pack resume. The session designed was in such a way that it really helped them see what is in for me. The new updates from industries were also a key feature of the session. With my learning experience over 16 years were included. Evaluation on various levels was done with Kirkpatrick model. Let's relish the end of the story evaluation of my training program. After learning session was designed, developed and implemented, I wanted to make sure if the training program was effective, are my learners confused? It is important to have few eyes on it. So my mentor also was part of it. It was important to see the errors that sneak through which cracks it was coming up. This gave me an insight that material designed were learner-centric, and even it was appreciated by my mentor in the post-event feedback. The evaluation 2 feedback forms were designed and sent to them immediately. The feedback was overwhelming in terms of satisfaction level of the learner about the content. Happy to share that the learner showed interest to get such more training programs and felt there was need to unlearn and relearn these wonderful learnings given during the presentation. As an instruction designer, I followed 5 steps of ISTD: analysis, design, development, implementation, evaluation. ISTD process helped me create this entire training program. I enjoyed my first training program experience, and though it was time consuming, but it was very heartening to develop, as it developed execution championship spirit in me. It sharpened my ability and attention to details ability. Takeaways from my internship project was this task of internship was filled with lot of learnings for giving me an insight that I can be a better trainer. The training program on resume writing endowed me with a proud moment and a privileged moment to create, test and deliver. It was appreciated by my mentor and my learner, made me feel that I am ready for my next training program in the field of training, boosting my confidence. It also generated a sense of value for my time and hard work and gave me creative moment and proud moments while presenting the content ideas which were brought to life for the learner. In nutshell, this was where my expertise as an instruction designer came into play and honed me further. I championed the making of blueprints of entire training program and learned to use the Excel sheets as storyboards to help the trainer as a designer visualize big ideas, speed up the development process and gave an impetus to the delivery of fantastic training program. Yes, I am now a professional who can conduct training need analysis to discover learning goals and frame clear objectives. In this process of delivery valuable content, I also got additionally certified by LinkedIn in resume writing and enriched myself with numerous other resources which helped me in new knowledge exploration and distribution. A big thanks for raising this internship project. It was a power pack for learning as a trainer, budding trainer, and hope without a method to achieve is always remaining a hope. But with this method, I think we achieved what we really hoped, a sense of confidence that yes, it's now time to be a wonderful trainer in 2022.